Hi everyone, happy Thanksgiving. I'm sorry I didn't make the meeting last night. I just had a few things that I wanted to go over with you about differentiation. And at first, I wanted to talk to you about the quarterly system that not very many people know about. A lot of people probably wonder why Canvas doesn't match up with the quarter system as far as the grade book goes. And the answer to that question is it does, or it can, if you want it to be. So right here, you're looking at Oak Creek's quarter term system that their school is a part of. So quarter one started August 17th and ended August 2nd. So this lines up with our grading periods at Harrison. So with IC or whatever report card system you use, your school can actually be attached to a term. Right now, middle school, I think secondary is all on semester systems, and I'm almost positive most of the elementary schools are on a year-long system, which means that when you guys look at your gradebook in Canvas, it's accumulated grades for the entire year. So you do have this option available to you, and I'm going to show you what that means as far as the gradebook. So as you can see here, this is just a sample of the gradebook. And if you are on this quarterly system, then if you go to your gradebook and you can filter to grading periods. And if you look over here in the right-hand side, you can actually pull up the different quarters and see the grade accumulations for that period. If your school is not attached to the quarterly term, it will not show. So what does that actually mean? Um, as a teacher and a student, when you filter your grade view, in addition to the grade book, the student and the teacher can also view the student according to the quarter grades. Now, I need to emphasize something really important along with this quarterly system. You can have your school, not individual courses, but your entire school would have to agree to be attached to this term. And this might not be for you this year. It might be for next year that you think this is a good idea. A lot of teachers would love to look at their gradebook and just see the grade accumulation for that quarter. They don't want to necessarily see it for the whole semester, or the whole year. Canvas can tally that up for you for all your grades, discussions, and all your discussions, quizzes, and your assignments. So, to emphasize what happens though, if you create an assignment, discussion, or quiz in quarter one, whether you put a due date on it, and this is the caveats that I need to share with you, then it gets attached to quarter one. And when quarter two rolls around, then those grades become locked, which means they are not editable. You can view the assignment, etc., and the comments and the feedback and everything about the assignment, but you can no longer edit the grade. If you create an assignment so if it doesn't have a due date, or if it does have a due date for quarter one, then it stays in quarter one. But if you create an assignment, say in quarter two, and you want it due in quarter three, and you actually put a due date on that, then it'll be part of quarter three. And at the end of quarter three, that project grade will block down. So you see what I'm trying to say? You have to think of each quarter as its own container of grades. And the reason that has to be is so that Canvas can give you those tallied up grades. It can't be something that shifts constantly. So in order for you to go to this system, you would need to, and I just want to point out too that you can actually, the quarter can end, say October 2nd, but you can have the admin close it, a few days later or a week later if you want to still edit those grades. But again, once it closes, they're locked and you can't edit them. This isn't something you just switch over, because all your teachers will be a little freaked out that they have things that were due, they were hoping to be due in quarter three, but they didn't put a due date on it and they got locked down in quarter two. So if this is something that you're interested in, I included the Canvas guide, grading periods. up here in this link if you guys had got the PowerPoint from the meeting, or you can just hit me up and I'll send it to you. Something to read and just share with your principal, just so you understand what happens. And the main thing is this: there's some rules with how those grades get locked down, and I essentially explained the gist of it. And if your school is interested in going to quarter terms, which I think is awesome, because why would you want to tally those up every time? I want to view just my grades from that quarter. I don't want to view them from the whole year. Then your principal would have to contact Dave Jarbo, and Dave Jarbo would attach your school to the term the same way that Oak Creek is attached. So that's how that works. I just wanted to make sure you guys knew that that was available to you. It's not something that's just out there. I think mostly because we had everything on secondary and semester terms, and it's just good to know that you have that option. The second thing I wanted to share with you is about differentiation. And I was going to talk to you about sections and groups in Canvas and how you can differentiate. And I'm sorry I missed this meeting because I just one of those topics that's really near and dear to my heart, differentiating within Canvas. So something that you guys know, when you guys have classes created in Canvas, that sections are created for you. So if you go to settings and you look at your sections, they line up with your periods in your school. That's created by IC, and they're locked. You can't edit them, even if you tried. The nightly update would boot students you add, or add students that you're not supposed to have, or would boot them, etc. So you know what I'm saying, that it's locked. But something you may not know is that you can create course sections, and that your students, and this is really important, can be added to more than one section. So you would just add the name here and add it, and then you can delete those sections if you don't want them here as well. But you can see I created 3 extra sections: math comments, math novas, and stars. Say you wanted to level your classes throughout the year, you can create additional sections and assign special work to them. So this is a very common way that teachers differentiate within Canvas. So if you go to the People tab, and we're going to pretend that quizzes.next is an IC created course. And you can see that I've already assigned some of my students to more than one section. So this is pretend it's the IC created course, and I added then math comments. And maybe they don't know this, but math comments might be a leveled section that I wanted them to be in, so I can give them special work. Same with John Snow and Brianna of Tarth. So the way you do that is you just go to the 3 dots and you edit their sections. And then you just, after you create your section, then you just look for it. So you can see I have my 3 different leveled assignment sections that I can attach a student to. So let's go ahead and add the student to Math Stars. So when you do this in your courses, the IC created course is not going to have an X around it. You cannot delete it. So those are concrete. They will stay there. You're not going to be able to do anything to those, and you don't want to do anything to those. You just leave those the way they are. But if you want to start leveling any assignments and sections throughout the year, create those additional sections, and then you can differentiate work. So if I go to an assignment, and most of you already know this, so I have certain assignments throughout the year, and I would like to assign them to different sections, then I can actually just create an assignment, and you can see that my Math Stars shows up. So, and if it doesn't show, you can just type it, and you can see my section showed up. So I have my Math Stars, Brianna of Tarth, she's like super math amazing, and I want to create some special assignments for different groups of kids. So this is kind of in addition to Mastery Paths. Mastery Paths is more like you create an assessment, and once they pass the assessment and get a certain score, it releases a certain path. So that's one way to differentiate. This is a way you can differentiate. And using Mastery Paths for Choose Your Own Adventure is also a way to differentiate. And then the last way, which is also really fun, is creating groups. So if I go to people, then you can see up here that I've already created some groups. So groups are collaborative, first of all, and they're also project-based. So you could differentiate 3 different assignments or group assignments if you wanted to. So I could create, these groups and then have the same kind of assignment going, but having different levels in there if I want to. But you can see already that within each project, I create groups right here. So I create my project here, and then I create my group here, and I ask them what the name is. And you can, of course, create groups within the assignments, but I think this is the best way, is to come up to the People tab and just do it. And then I can really control what happens. And that way, when I create assignments, I can actually just choose my group. So I have Middle Ages, and I created 2 groups in this one, and I can put in 2 or 3 people. And the way you just do that is by creating a group within each project, and then you can just drag and drop the people that you want in those groups. And, some group work, you can actually have students create their own groups if you want to. When I create a group set, you can allow self-sign up, decide group structure, etc. And the video I shared does go over that a bit, but it's pretty self-explanatory. So I created these projects, and I broke up my groups. And the cool thing about it too is that every time you create a group, Canvas creates a homepage, a collaborative homepage for each of those groups. So you can visit them from the group page and see what's going on. They get their own announcements, their own pages, tells you what people are involved in that group. They have their own discussions, they share files, collaborations, and conferences. So it's kind of nice that every time a group is created, they have their own wonderful collaboration space. And I think that's especially really nice. And you can see what goes on there. So they know that it should be completely up and up, that they can't mess around that in that space, that it's for their work. So then, okay, again, to recap, it's collaborative. You can differentiate if you want to. And when I go to assignments, and I love this. So when you edit your assignment, or you're creating a special assignment for your groups, then you're going to allow that it's a group assignment. So once you've created your groups, and I click that box, and I can assign grades individually or as a group, then I can choose my group. And whatever group I choose, then what's going to happen is that group's going to pop up. So if I want to, I can add fox, bear, and wolf in that group to this assignment, or I can just do fox if I want to do that specific assignment for the fox group. I mean, within not only the projects can be differentiated, but within the group, it can be. Within the project, it can. So that's kind of even a better way to go, because then you have, setting up different assignments for different groups that you set up. So that's a really nice way to be able to control that. So if I click Middle Ages, and I can assign it to the llama and elk group, both of them or just one of them. So another really awesome thing that you can do with blended learning in Canvas is differentiate. And I hope you guys utilize this. It's really awesome. And please don't hesitate to reach out to me if you want to talk more about any of this.